All right. An 11-year-old has been docked points for not bashing Trump. Here's our two upcoming articles on indoctrination within our schools. This brought to you by homeschooling, which you should definitely do. This coming from PJ Media, and let's see who the writer is so we give them the appropriate credit. Tom Knighton, okay? To say that some people dislike Donald Trump may well be the understatement of the year. It's hard to imagine any duly elected president seeing so many protests, yet here we are. It's so bad that now an 11-year-old in Annadale, New York, was docked 15 points on a homework assignment because she failed to answer a question demanding students bash Trump. Vincent Ungro, a dad from Annadale, New York, has an 11-year-old daughter who attends... let's see. Let's give appropriate credit here, too. This is from LifeZet, okay? The website LifeZet. A dad from Annadale, New York, has an 11-year-old daughter who attends IS, or Intermediate School 75. She asked him for help with her vocabulary homework last Friday night because she was trying to fill in the blanks from a word bank to complete her assignment and was really puzzled. This is what the homework said in... and I quote, "President Trump speaks in a very superior and blank manner, insulting many people. He needs to be more blank so that the American people respect and admire him." The next question was, Barack Obama set a blank when he became the first African-American president. And what were the choices for the two words, you ask? These three words: haughty, humble, and precedent. And you can guess which ones were meant to be the correct answers in the teacher's mind. Ungro, 46, told his daughter not to fill in those blanks and wrote a note to the teacher, Adria Zawatsky, on the homework sheet. As the Post noted, it said, quote, "Please keep your political views to yourself and do not try to influence my children on them. Thank you." The teacher docked the points, which Ungro called vindictive. The teacher then emailed Ungro and defended her question, stating that she was addressing his personality rather than his ability to serve in the office of president. Then she went on to add that the media makes similar references to Trump and that she believes that she has the same right. So she is exercising her First Amendment right there, and she has all the right to do that. No, I don't believe that you do. The media has the right to do that because the First Amendment specifically addresses the press and everything. Yes, you do have the right to have your own opinion on Trump, but you do not have the right to indoctrinate students within the classrooms. This is just a failure on the educator's part right here. This is the exact type of indoctrination that we've been warning about for years, and we've given example after example. It's almost become a weekly thing now where we keep on pointing out failures in the education system. Last week, the podcast was about the 8th grade proficiency in math and reading being 65% of 8th graders in the United States are not proficient in math and reading. You had the kid that walked out for the Second Amendment protest against the Second Amendment that, they're protesting that kids are getting killed. He walks out, he gets hit by a car out in traffic. The school had an obligation to be protecting these kids, not allow them to participate in this protest and walk out, and the kid got freaking killed. This is what's happening in our educational system right now, indoctrination and not caring for the actual students, okay? And I'm not blaming the teachers. I'm blaming the system. I think there's a lot of great teachers out there that do deserve more pay. That's a whole other topic right there. But the fact of the matter is the standards, the policies, the requirements coming down from the federal and state government have been squashing teachers' abilities to actually perform and be creative anymore. And then even when you do have an opportunity to be creative or teach without the mandate from the government and everything, you have teachers that are forcing their opinion down the children's throats. This goes all the way back to the Boy Scouts of America and raising principled and moral people, okay? We need an opportunity to teach children how to think for themselves instead of how to think. Teachers should feel I'm not saying that they're obligated to do that. They should feel the obligation to teach down the center when it comes to political and religious and other types of things like global warming. This should be an exercise in challenging students, teaching down the line, this is what one side feels on the situation, this is what the other side feels on the situation. Now that we've gone over both and being respectful to both of those opinions, where do you fall? And once you get their opinion from them, back it up in writing and put together a report on why you feel that is the right decision. And then on top of that, not having a person like this teacher grade against that person because of their opinion. If they can support their opinion, no matter how crazy it is, if they have ways of backing that up, that is teaching a child on how to make decisions and back up their arguments. That is exactly what education should be about. It should be about molding minds to be able to think on their own, not cookie cutter versions of students and pushing them out into public as drones based on what you think is right. That's indoctrination story number 1. How about this one? Oh, you know what? Hold on a second. So there's a school mural that is now being ordered to be taken down because of the art that's depicted on it against our president. So let's take a look at, let's see here. I can actually, hopefully. This is the mural that's on a school property right now, where you kind of have a tribal stuff going on and warriors and stuff. And one of the warriors has a spear going through the back of a beheaded Trump, through the back of his head and out of his mouth. And he's decapitated and there's blood coming out. You know, the type of just nice thing, nice family-friendly thing that you would find on a school playground, right? So I'm going to leave that up there. School officials in Southern California, go figure, this week ordered part of a mural to be covered because the artwork showed President Donald Trump's severed head on the end of a spear. After complaints from the community, the mural was initially covered with plastic on Wednesday, then later covered with plywood, according to the San Diego Union Tribune. Obviously, there's a lot of concern over what is depicted, Manny Rubio, public information officer for the Sweetwater Union High School District in San Diego County, told the paper. Artist Sasha Andrade has agreed to change the painting to, quote, better align with the school's philosophy. Well, what the hell was the school's philosophy before if this is what was depicted? Yeah. MAAC is a nonprofit that oversees the school, which is independently run, not governed by the district's board of trustees, according to the paper. The artist took to social media to defend the work, which shows 3 warriors, one gripping a sword, another grasping a heart, and a third clutching the spear with the president's severed head. She said, they can try to hashtag censor it, but here it is, guys, she wrote on a post on Facebook with a photo of the mural. She added, let's make this viral. So, classless, true, yes. Disgusting human being, I would probably vote for under that category. Insane leftist who believes that she can hide behind the moniker of artist because she wants to throw out her political opinion of absolute vile hatred and disguise it as artistry. Yeah, I think that's where we're going with this. So you have that. So that is on a school mural right now and is currently covered and has to be reworked, obviously, to get rid of that. This is the kind of stuff that we're dealing with. When I talk about the left going out of their gourd and losing all respect from... They are currently molding future generations that they hope with this stuff will turn future generations that are coming up right now into liberal progressive soldiers, okay? But instead, I think, and the statistics are pointing to the newest generation of kids coming up being more conservative. Why is that? because they're seeing their parents wearing pussy hats. They see that if parents don't get their way, they throw a tantrum and go out in the streets and riot and throw Molotov cocktails into businesses that of hardworking people that work their whole life to achieve the American dream, and instead watch it burn down because a bunch of pansies didn't get their way in an election result. Okay, you see people like this who are putting up art depicting the president being beheaded. You have Kathy Griffin, who's holding up a decapitated mask of Trump, and then whining and complaining that her career was ruined by Trump and his supporters because she was doing something artistic. You have these children that are growing up right now seeing the absolute lunacy of the left and all the stuff that they're doing. The fact that they are not acting like adults when they should be acting like adults. And they're saying, I want no part of that. I want to be the exact opposite of that. I do not want, you know, when your parents' tantrums outweigh your tantrums as a kid, and you're sitting there watching them throwing themselves around on the sofa and on the floor and everything, it's time to reevaluate where your affiliations lie, both religiously, politically, and culturally. Okay? But there you have it. They're supposedly going to change it. And I'm guessing, since it's in California, they're just going to make it into another anti-Trump mural, just without him actually being decapitated. Okay, let's get to